Hello everyone, welcome back to Durbanites FPL. After a few weeks away for international breaks and FA Cup, it's time to kick off with Game Week 33 preview. Guys, this is a big one. Doubles galore. 6 teams playing twice in this game week. Probably the last but one double game week based on how the FA Cup is shaping up, but this is going to be the biggest one. Also very important this week because the place that you achieve this week, the points that you achieve this week, also determines how you face up in the draw for the Durbanites Cup that kicks off in Game Week 34. So very important. Good results might get you a bye. Poor results might put you into a very difficult bracket. But let's kick it off as usual with the table. Right at the top, Roboclop still holding strong with 7 weeks to go. Looks like Suad is running away with it, about 200 points. Not impossible to catch up, but getting very, very difficult. Some gaps between her and myself and third place. Then it starts getting really tight, just 10 points to fourth, 15 points to fifth, then 11 points to sixth, and as you can see, then 1.3 point, it really does get very, very difficult. Surprise entry into the table as well. The champ is back. Mubin is up to 10. Getting into this after a good bench boost play this week, dropping Ami out of the top 10, but just ahead by 2 points, so he's going to have to work hard to stay there. For the rest, a few movements in the table, but nothing much to disrupt the top. Looking at the player selections as well, top 3 there, Antoine Semenyo now the one owned by 3/4 of our managers, Erling Haaland slipping but still staying popular, Gabriel Magalhaes as well, just on the brink as Arsenal face some challenging times going in for the title. Looking at the differentiators, 8 this week reaching double figures. Nico Williams, Rio Moha, the youngster from Liverpool, Alex Scott and Jared Bowen, all with just one owner within the 20 managers in the FPL. Robin Roofs with 2, Nico O'Reilly as well. Mark Gahey doing really well, 8 managers having him, going to double figures and getting the captaincy this week. Igor Thiago just on the brink of becoming a firm staple. Now looking at the hits and misses, not much in terms of misses and in hits as well. A lot of the points coming from the back line, so stone walls for Hassan, Fatih, Azra, Atta and Squish. Iron walls for Suwan, myself, Zax, Mubs, Ami and Umer. Most of us bolstered by a Mark Gahey, Virgil van Dijk combination, others with Nico O'Reilly, so all of them pulling in big figures for us as well, and sometimes Verbruggen involved there as well. Now, looking at the best possible selection from those teams, Robin Roofs would have got the number 1 spot, but spent a lot of time on benches in the FPL this week. Virgil van Dijk still featuring there, Nico Williams, Nico O'Reilly, and Mark Gahey, the captain, as we spoke about. Rio Ngumoha making his first appearance on this, the 17-year-old from Liverpool, doing well last week. Alex Scott doing well for Bournemouth as well in that win against Arsenal. Casemiro is in for Manchester United, and Mo Salah in what is his last season at Liverpool making a feature as well. Jared Bowen jumps into the front line, as does Igor Thiago. No place in the starting lineup for Verbruggen, Alderete, Schade and Kupi Jr. all making up the bench. But all in all, probably one of the highest totals that we would have got here, 142 without a bench boost, 170 with, total cost of 90, so a very affordable team indeed. Now, looking at the matchups coming up, guys, as you can see, 6 weeks remain, including big doubles this week. Looking at who we are punting, Arsenal and Manchester City taking each other on this week. It is very tight, and so not that we're recommending them, but Manchester City do have the double, so definitely want to look at players there, and they seem to be on form. Arsenal a very tough one, probably the most tough match going into this run-in. Aston Villa have a good run ahead of them before they run into Liverpool and City. They are still chasing the Champions League spots, now equal with Manchester United, so a chance for them to jump ahead and back into third. So watch that Aston Villa team. Bournemouth have a double this week, but then the blank next week, so just be very aware of that. Brighton the same as well, good double, good run in, but a blank coming up next week. Leeds as well, as you can see, a fairly favourable run towards the end. Watch that blank that's coming up. Liverpool, a tough run with the Merseyside derby this week. They're not in the best of form after going out to PSG. Then a tricky Crystal Palace game. Manchester United is always a charged one. Then Chelsea, then Aston Villa, who they're fighting with for the European spots, before a game at Brentford to end their season, which has been questionable. Then Nottingham Forest, good game against Burnley this week, but a very tough run in after that with Sunderland, Chelsea, Newcastle, Manchester United, and Bournemouth. Not easy for Forest as they try and battle to stay out of relegation. This Burnley game is going to be a big one for them. Look at them trying to put in a lot of goals and move clear of the bottom. Spurs are in a battle. Roberto De Zerbi has these 6 games left to try and get Spurs out of relegation. They are already 2 points behind the next team in front of them, which is not good at this stage of the season. And with wins last week for Leeds and West Ham and points for Nottingham Forest, everyone is starting to move away. Leeds are now 6 points clear of Spurs, so they're going to have to start getting points on the board quickly. A tough game against Fabian Hutzler's Brighton and Hove Albion, who are doing really well this year. And then you've got Wolves at the bottom. Again, a good run of fixtures going towards the end of the season. Now, Wolves, we know, are probably going to be relegated, confirmed maybe by the end of this week, depending on what happens with Leeds. Mathematically, they are going to be out of it, but they are still fighting, doing really well. So a chance for you to pick up some last points from Wolves before they say goodbye. So with that, let's look at the selection. So on the back line, Aston Villa's Emi Martinez is doubtful. Vicario as well for Spurs might probably not feature this week. So Kinski's going to get another shot at goal. He did well. He looked solid last week. It was an unfortunate goal that dropped Spurs. Alisson is definitely out for Liverpool. So Mamadashvili is going to get an extended run towards the end of the season. Timber still doubtful for Arsenal, not sure whether they will risk him against a City team that will be so attacking on the flanks. Levi Colwill and Trevor Chalobah still out for Chelsea, but the latest on Trevor Chalobah is that he's doubtful, but he might feature. James as well, highly doubtful. Fabian Schär still out for Newcastle, but Sven Botman is back. Guardiola still out for City. Nico O'Reilly is listed as doubtful, but the latest reports that have come back say that he is fit to play, and if so, he's quite dangerous and a big points getter, as we have seen. Patrick Dorgu still out for Manchester United. Ballard still doubtful for Sunderland, and Christian Romero probably out for Spurs if the medical or extensive medical that he's going through says that he's done for the season. Then in terms of the picks, Verbruggen, Petrovic, Donnarumma all doubling this week, guys. That's where we're focusing our picks. Try and make sure that you have 11 players on the field that are playing twice, unless you have real faith in those that are playing once but have a really good game. Lacroix and Richards at Crystal Palace are the recommendations, playing once but having a good game, actually looking to get some points. Digne and Cash as well playing once, but a fairly favourable fixture coming up, not only for this week but the next few. Van Heck and De Cape are playing twice this week, O'Reilly playing twice and a big goal threat. Hill and Senesi playing twice this week, Goodmanson playing twice this week, and Milenkovic playing once but playing against Burnley, which is quite a call out. Then we've got in the midfield, Kudus out for Spurs, of course, with their long-term injuries as well to Madison, Betancourt. They have a long list on Spurs. Marino's out for Arsenal. Saka's doubtful, as is Madueke, so they might be a bit stuck for choice going in there. So look at Eberechi. Is he getting a start? I wonder how he'll do against Manchester City. Then you've got Jack Grealish out for the season at Everton, unfortunately, after doing quite well. Bruno Guimaraes out for Newcastle. They're going to miss him. Enzo is doubtful at Chelsea, but in all probability he will play. And Stash for Leeds is also doubtful. When you look at the picks again, a trio from Aston Villa, Rogers, Douglas, Luiz and McGinn. Big win for Aston Villa in the midweek in Europe, 4-0 against Bologna, so they are definitely looking to step it up. Enzo Lefi at Sunderland, Gomez and Groh at Brighton and Hove Albion in the double, Tavernier and Scott for the double for Bournemouth as well, Ampadu and Aronson. You might want to also look at Okafor from Leeds, depending on what your particular choice is. And then Semenyo and Cherki from Manchester City in that midfield. Anderson from Notts Forest, a good game against Burnley, but he's just recently come up as doubtful, so just watch for that. And Gibbs White as well, who's pretty good. And then Crescencio Somerville for West Ham, just a single this week, but he is a useful, versatile player. Going into the forwards then, Nketiah and Ekitike are out. Ekitike is done for the season. He will be back in the summer, and hopefully looking forward to working on that strike partnership with Alexander Isak for next season. So he's done for this season, guys. No point holding on to him. For the picks, a lot of doubles involved here, including Erling Haaland. Big double against Arsenal and Burnley this week. Thiago did well last week for Brentford. Watkins and Tammy Abraham doing well for Aston Villa as well. Krupi Jr. was an excellent goal to sink Arsenal. Nick Walterman at Newcastle, we assume he's the one that's going to start the line for them. Danny Welbeck with a good double coming up this week, and he is in fine form. Jared Bowen coming right for West Ham when they need him to avoid relegation. And of course, the last double, Dominic Calvert-Lewin with Leeds having a chance to play. I'm not sure what his minutes look like, but at this moment in time, I assume Leeds will want to play their best team out there. So that's it, guys. At the time of this video going live, probably 3 hours left for your selection on this Saturday. Do not miss out. And if you're not having 11 players on the field that are playing twice, think carefully about that, because this is a big one and it's going to make a difference in what happens in the cup next week. So until then, don't forget to like, subscribe, drop us a comment, let us know your predictions for who you think will win the Durbanites FPL Cup this week. We've only had one winner in the last 2 seasons. Let's see if he can make it a hat trick. Until then, don't forget to like, subscribe. So long for now.